He was the biggest Magic Johnson fan ever. Like, it was to the point where you actually made a name for yourself, and people actually called you Magic. Like from wearing his sneakers to his just had to have his jerseys and just playing exactly like Magic Johnson. From talking about from the past, and actually shot like him too. So, and outside of that, he was actually a really good basketball player. But he reminds you of Magic Johnson. Like.
We'll start with the hangers, with the socks. So sitting on a wall playing hangers, throwing sky hooks like we was out there. Then we measure tapes like he's Magic Johnson. Put the jersey on, the purple arms. It's like Irvin Magic Johnson out there. Washington Avenue, oh man, that was the ceiling of the cake. 6th grade, I'm sitting in the stands, looking at this dude, man, dribbling down court. There's about 5 seconds left, man. This joker goes, he goes all the way to the sideline, throws up a sky hook 3, it's nothing but net. Everybody in the crowd shocked. I said, this guy just analyzed Magic so much, man. He's throwing sky hook 3s like, man, it was insane. That play right there just set the whole summer off. I ain't want to watch no more basketball after he made that sky hook 3. Because I don't think nobody in that gym made a sky hook 3-pointer before. Not even practice shot. Yeah, his name is Magic, not Leonard. Everybody call him Magic. Everywhere he goes, they call him Magic. What's up, Magic? Baby Magic. Joker be on the fast break, hit the joker. You don't know where the ball going. He hit somebody with a pass. Like, oh.
Well, I remember before I even met you, I heard about you. And they said, you know, it's this guy on Powell that plays for Pleasantville, and he plays just like Magic. I'm like, nah, get out of here. Ain't nobody can beat Magic. So when I finally got to see you, I'm sitting on the bench watching basketball, zoop, zoop. And I'm just like, wow, like this guy is he's really Magic. I mean, he's had his ball handling down, his hook shot down, the passes down. I mean, you really carried yourself like Magic. And I mean, one thing about Magic, he made a lot of his teammates better. And, I think as far as you on and off the court, you make a lot of people better.
The first time I met Larry was in the summer of '78. We were on a college all-star team that toured Europe. And the thing I noticed about Larry was that he reminded me of myself. We both loved passing the ball. And neither one of us could run very fast or jump very high. And we weren't about stats. We were about winning. And people that saw us play saw some of the best basketball ever played. I had always fantasized about us playing together. And that's why the Olympics meant so much to me. And for it to happen meant more to me than anything I've ever done. Athletes live to get up so that they can't sleep for 2 or 3 days before a competition. And nobody could do that to me except Larry Bird. And the only time in my life that I was ever scared before a game was before the NCAA final and before a Celtic game. After God and my father, I respect Larry Bird more than anyone. And the thing is, we hardly ever guarded one another. The only time we ever talked on the floor was when we had a switch. So if I was on him, he'd say, bring it here to me, I got this little one on me. And, in fact, one night he got me real good. I was back on a fast break, and somebody had kicked the ball out to him. So I ran out to cover him. So Larry says, he said, what you running out here for? And he buries it right in my face. Oh man, I mean, Larry, 3 of our first 5 games against each other in the pros, I had missed because of injury. And one night before a game, Larry comes over to me and he says, hey, Irvin, he never calls me Magic. He says, sit back and enjoy the show. The whole year. Because when the new schedule came out each year, I would grab grab it and circle the Boston games. You know, for me, it was 2 and the other 80. And during the season, the first thing I'd check was Larry's line. And if he had a triple-double, then I knew I wanted one. And the thing that would get me is when he would, you know, say get 20 rebounds. Then I'd say, I want to get me 20 assists that night. Larry helped to improve my game and making me play at a level I don't know how I got to myself.
35 years old. Been married 11 years. And I got a boy who sleeps on the living room couch. And all I got to give him is stories about how rich white people live. Damn all eggs ever was.
Son, don't make the mistake of running that girl away from you.
Why? What'd she do for me?
She loves you.
Mama, I'm going out. I just want to go out somewhere and be by myself for a while.
We're going married, don't you wait on me. Oh, go ahead and marry, don't you wait on me. Well, might not want you when I go free. Oh, I might not want you when I go free.
I've done a little bit of stealing here and there, but I ain't never killed nobody. Can't speak for nobody else. Y'all got to speak for yourselves. But I ain't never killed nobody.
You killed Crawley just as sure as you had pulled the trigger.
Just ignorant. Downright foolish of you to say something like that. You ain't doing nothing but showing your ignorance. That nigga was here right now. I'd whoop his ass for getting me in line and shot.
Crawley ain't knew about the wood.
We told the man about the wood. Ask Ron. He knew about the wood. He seen we was sneaking. Where else would we be out there at night? Don't come telling me nothing about Crawley ain't knew nothing about the wood. Them fellas come up on us and try to bully us, and Crawley tried to get us.
What? Nothing. You heard me describing it, right? Whole thing with the axe. Me chopping my way through pines, whole city sprouting up around me. McKee City. Love the way that sounds. McKee City.
I wanted to be a basketball player, and a lot of me to this day is still very much an athlete. I always say the whole actor-performer thing is what God has called me to do. But inside is an athlete, is a basketball. Is that young man who wanted to be a basketball player, who wanted to be Magic Johnson on the court, is still there, you know. And and there are times that, you know, even at 6'3", you know, almost 6'4", I convinced myself that I could, you know, I could play in the NBA. But with that being said, when Magic left, it took a lot out of me. As my brother said, I didn't have the same zest for basketball, you know, anymore. Why I'm right for the role. On my website, you know, I have an interesting quote that really sums me up as an actor. And that quote was something that I borrowed, was a statement I borrowed from the late George C. Scott, who said, I never cared much about acting. I've always cared more about showing people glimpses of themselves. And that's what it comes down to for me. You know, Magic actually, like I said, if Magic said he ate a certain type of cereal, I was going to eat that cereal. If Magic said he used a certain bar of soap, you better believe I was going to use that soap. And I discovered, you know, Luther Vandross, who was another hero to me growing up, through Magic Johnson. And interestingly enough, I'll be playing Luther on stage pretty soon. But I owe that to Magic Johnson because, you know, Magic was in an interview and you know, talked quite fervently about, you know, his love for Luther's music, and I had to go listen to this Luther guy, find out who this guy was, just because Magic said so. So it, you know, but getting back to my initial premise, you know, I'm right for this role because you know, there's so many people that I'm sure will try out for this role, and that that are fans of magic, that feel they have the ability to portray magic. But I guess what I would say to the producers of the show, Fran Kermser and the Pintaro Group, and the writer Eric Simonson, the NBA, Magic Johnson, what I would say is I have 22 years at least of this man living in my soul, of you, Magic, living in my soul. And that's, the typical preparation time that it takes for an actor, even the best of them, 6 months to a year, can't overcome 22 years of, Magic Johnson living in my soul, living and breathing you, Magic, for 22 years. And that's hard, so I can play Magic from the standpoint of having lived him, having breathed him, and every bit of who I am today, every bit of my character being, developed by Magic Johnson. So for me, it's not a, and certainly the role, would require, would have its demands and preparation. But when someone lives in your soul the way Magic lives in mine, it's a process that you cannot duplicate. And I feel ultimately, and I'm bold enough to say it, that I think this is my destiny.